Hello, Jessica, you're back to another review, and today I'm reviewing my first Creator 2014 set, and it is set number 31019. It's called Forest Animals. It has 272 pieces. It's recommended for just 7 to 12, and it's available like Lego stores right at the moment. It's not even available at Toys R Us's, and it does retail for $20 in the US. And I'm going to take a look at all three builds. I know a lot of people don't do that, but you know, each build it has its own little flaws and stuff like that. But let's take a look at the packaging. So here's the box for this set. It's very nice. The front shows the monkey and the toucan, and then the two other builds, which says rebuilds into a teddy bear or a squirrel. And the top shows a little photo reel from like a photo booth of the monkey and the toucan, so that's really cute. And the back shows all three of the builds, unless you count the toucan's build, and that doesn't make sense because it's included as part of the monkey build. And you do get 3 instruction booklets, of course. And you can see the monkey one's actually the thickest one. The squirrel is the second thickest, and then the thinnest is the teddy bear. So now let's take a look at the first build, which will be the bear. Okay, so here's the first of the 3 builds in this set. And it's definitely the smallest and the most simplest to make, and it is the little brown bear. There's lots of posability on this one. The mouth opens and closes. The head, you can actually move around and stuff like that. That's really cool. And of course you could snap it back like that. I mean, who would do that? And also you could move the arms like that all around, so that's really cool. And those aren't on ball joints, so those are just on Technic joints, I believe they're called. I'm not really good with this Technic stuff and stuff like that. But you could just move them basically 360 degrees and up and down and stuff like that. So it is very posable, like I said. And also the legs are actually on ball joints, so you can move that all around you want. Like that. So there's lots of places you could like contort it and stuff like that. And the ears you can move up and down, and if you move the ears down like this, it looks a little bit like a puppy, like kind of like standing on or sitting on its legs, which is pretty cute. I think that's a nice touch, and I don't think that's like intentional or anything, but it's a nice add-on. But it's pretty specific, so I would say the brown bear is definitely what it's intended to be. But still, it still is a very cool build. The eyes right there, the eyepieces are some of the Mixel pieces, so that's really cool that we get those so early. And here is the back, very, very bare bones and stuff like that, not detailed. That's understandable because basically this is just a display piece for the front. So I guess if you put it like this, it doesn't really make it look like a dog or anything like that, so it looks a little bit like a bear this way, I guess you could say, but it even looks a little bit like a reindeer. So there's just so many things you could build out of this. Just this one, just the way you like position it and everything, it becomes a totally different animal. And yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm not sure what this is yet because there's no like Lego listing on it, but I'm pretty sure it's a bear. But like I said, you could just position it anywhere. I doubt it's a reindeer, but they could say, oh, it's a dog, but I don't know. But it looks a little bit more like a bear once you look at the front when it's positioned this way. But the main way is it's supposed to be like that, like I showed, and then right here and here. So that's pretty interesting all in itself. And I know Lego made a bear recently, but it was for a charity thing, and it was Pudsey the bear, which was a UK exclusive, I believe it was. And it was in a poly bag, and it was only $4. It looked a little bit like this, but Pudsey is based off of a charity mascot, I believe. I'm not entirely sure about that. So this one isn't based off of any existing character, and I actually like this one just a little bit better because the eyes are more detailed and it has lots of more posability. But it's basically the same position as this. But it's just, this one isn't too unique. But still, it's pretty cool, and it's definitely not a weak build at all. So here's the second build, and it's probably my least favorite, but it's a squirrel. But to be honest, it really does not look like a squirrel. In my opinion, this one is it's not really sturdy because sometimes it falls over and stuff like that. And it doesn't really look like a squirrel, which is what it's intended to be because it is called Forest Animals. Some people thought it was a kangaroo, and I thought it was a kangaroo at first, but it's called Forest Animals. And it wouldn't be a kangaroo because his tail would be too big. He would be too slim if it's a mother kangaroo, which is what it would be if it is a kangaroo. I doubt that would do like a male kangaroo. But it's just, I don't know, it looks like a conjabulation of like different animals, and I think that's a really huge flaw. I mean, there's not really that much posability compared to the others. Like the arms don't really move that much. You can't move them like 360 degrees or anything like that. So there's that right there. You can just move it all around because they are on that little Technic hinge right there. But you can't move it this like 360. And for the head, it is on a ball joint, so you could move that around a lot. But you can't move the nose or anything or the mouth. It's just stuck right there, even though it looks like it may be on that hinge, but it's not. The actual teeth are pretty clever if it was a squirrel, but I think the head is maybe a too like big or stuff like that. And the ears are really too big too to be a squirrel. And they move around a lot, but they also kind of break sometimes. Like you see, they just fell off on me. So that kind of sucks right there. The back, I do really like how they made the tail. I think that's really cool. But I mean, I haven't seen a brown squirrel like in a while. Of course, I know there's brown squirrels. So maybe this would have worked a little bit better if it was in gray, which is kind of the stereotypical squirrel look or whatever. But you could move the tail around a lot because it is on a ball joint right there, which you could see. So I guess that is pretty nice. And it's a pretty detailed tail, so I do like the tail. But the rest, I don't know. I don't like it. It just looks odd, and it's not very sturdy too. The legs themselves are actually kind of posable because they are on ball joints, so you can move it all around you want. And it does have like individual leg parts, but even those are a bit too big. You can see right there. So I am very disappointed with this build, but it is my least favorite. Even though it's not completely awful, because I do like the tail, I think the rest of it is pretty bad. But the next one is actually my favorite, so we'll get onto that right now. So here's the last build of the set, and definitely my favorite, and it is the monkey. And the monkey also comes with a toucan, which is really cool. And he's a little bit smaller than I imagined, but I think he looks better this way, because when I first saw the pictures, I thought he was maybe a little bit too tall. But now I can kind of fit him anywhere I want, because that was kind of a problem when getting this set. I didn't know where I would put him. But since he doesn't take much space, I can just pop him on my shelf or whatever. And he's very, very flexible. And we'll first take a look at the monkey, and then we'll take a look at the toucan. But he comes with this banana, which is really cool. It's an additional add-on, and you could just take that part off right there. And he's not as stable without it, but he's still pretty stable. And this is the banana part right there. It looks a little bit weird because it is blocky at this segment right here, but that's understandable because it has to be that way, so it can have that curve right there. The only problem I have with the banana is the black parts, because even though bananas do have black parts, it just looks a little bit off with this whole black part right here. I could understand the blocky part, but it would have been cool to really get this piece in yellow exclusive to the set. But still, it's pretty nice, and I know why they did it. It's probably to keep the price down, because there is a lot of pieces in this set for the price that I paid for it. So there's that. And then I was going to say the banana. The monkey looks really awesome. His eyebrows, you can move them any way you want. I have his like this, which is a little bit how it looks on the box. But in the instruction manual, it shows you to put it like this, which I don't like it this way compared to the other way. And you can open and close his mouth, which is really cool. And you can see you could have it wide as that. So he can have different facial expressions, because this one he's like surprised, and then you put his eyebrows that way because it looks surprised like that. Or he could just be calm, and then you would just close it like this. So that looks really cool. He has the eyes right there, which look nice. Here's the side. You can move his ears, which is pretty cool. It's not too much. And you can do that on both sides because there are 2 ears. And his little arms right here are really long, which are a little bit off, but still I don't really mind that because I guess it has to be this way. It would be cool to get this in brown right here because I believe this piece has come in brown before, but like I said, I believe it's to keep the price down. And you can just see how long they are, and you can move them any way you want with that because they are on ballpoint hinges right there. So that's really cool. And then on the side right here, you can see his little fingers. You can move them any way you want. And so that's really cool. And then you could actually rotate it like this. So you could make the monkey flip off the camera. So here you go. So that is really cool, really fun. And to his other hand, it's basically the same thing because they tell you to build the same exact thing. So it's not really anything different from the other one, but it's still cool that he has 2 posable arms, 2 posable legs, 2 posable eyebrows. And his legs, speaking of which, they can move a lot of ways too because they're on the little ball parts right there, and you could just move the ball around. And his little toes, you can move around like that. He stands pretty good when they're flat like that, but you could kind of position them any way you want, and he'll still stand up pretty good. I guess not that way. And then on the back, he even has a tail, which is really nice. You can see that right there. So you can move that up and down, and each of his individual little sections on his tail can move that way, kind of like a lot of the other tails they make for sets. Like I know Chiba has some crocodile tails for their vehicles, and they move a very similar way. So that is really cool. And his head, you can actually move up and down like that. So there's just so much posability on this one little monkey build out of all the builds. It's definitely the most posable and my favorite. And it comes with the most stuff and the most content out of the build. Because you also get, besides the banana and the monkey, you get this little toucan. And this toucan is really just adorable. Let me see, I got all this stuff right here. And it uses little pixel eyes, I believe. And you can flap his wings up and down, which is really cool. And his legs don't move too much because they are on this little part right here. But you can still move them around. And just the colors on his little beak looks amazing. And yeah, he's just a cute little build and a great add-on to another great build. And that's it, so now it's the final verdict. Overall, I'm kind of split on this. I like the first build, which is a teddy bear. The second build, which says it's the squirrel is kind of, it doesn't really look like a squirrel. And then the third build is fantastic. I really do love the monkey and the toucan. And the pieces, you do get a lot of pieces for $20. But there are some flaws with each of the builds. Like, for example, the monkey has some black parts over it, and it should be probably old brown and stuff like that. But I guess that's to keep the costs down. And I can't really complain much about the monkey build, but I can complain about the other two builds. So I would say if you really want to get this monkey, which is really, really cute, and it doesn't take up much space, so you can kind of fit it anywhere, and it does look like a monkey, and the toucan too. I would say definitely get this set. So for the rating, I would give it A. That's mainly because the monkey and the toucan just look fantastic, and they really nailed those two down. The other two builds are kind of disappointing, but I would say that most people are going to buy this just for the monkey and the toucan, which look really cute, and they don't really take much space. And they did try lots of new stuff with here, and you do get some nice pieces, but not like totally awesome pieces or anything like that. When those pieces are with the eyes and stuff like that, because you do get two big eyes and then two small eyes, which are both printed pieces. So that's really it for this set, and I will see you guys later. Bye.